The men's 60-meter dash at the USA Indoor Meet is about to go down, and that means that somebody's about to become a national champion. Back in 2024, Noah Lyles got the victory, edging out Christian Coleman. And then they went over to the World Indoor Meet, where they both went 1 and 2. The only difference is the order flipped this time, because Christian Coleman became the world champion. And in case you haven't been paying attention, that was to be expected, because for the past 2 decades now, Team USA has won gold in the 60-meter dash at the Worlds, more often than not. And for the last 10 years, there's only been one man who was an American to come away with the gold. And his name is Lamont Marcel Jacobs, who is also an Olympic gold medalist in the 100. And of course, the 2 men behind him with silver and bronze were both American. Keep in mind, America only gets to send 2 men to the World Indoor Meet. So if you go representing the red, white, and blue, you are supposed to win. But I've gone on record to say that as far as the 2025 track season is concerned, it feels like nobody really wants to run indoors. Christian Coleman is the world record holder in the 60-meter dash, and he's the reigning world champion in that event. And he ain't touched the track indoors this season. And although Noah Lyles did give us at least 1 indoor sighting, he is also going to shut it down for the indoor season. So the question that remains now is who is actually going to be on the starting line at the USA Indoor Meet for the 60-meter dash. And the only way I know how to break it to you is to be as honest as I possibly can about it. This year, we're basically going to get the fastest men in the world who you probably forgot about. I'm talking about the greatest Olympic medalists who never were. And on the other end, you're going to have the fastest men in the world that you never even notice. I'm talking about the ones who don't even have a sponsor to their name at all. So depending on how the races go, either a former Olympian is going to climb all the way back to the top of the world, or at the very least the indoor world, or on the other end, somebody whom nobody was checking for, and was never supposed to be this fast to begin with. Otherwise somebody would have sponsored them, at least a sponsor that wants them to wear athletic gear. That person is going to prove that the joke is on everybody else, because the lanes on the track do not discriminate. They don't care who your sponsor is, or even if you never got to run at the D1 level to begin with. For that matter, they don't even care what you did in the past, because when the lights are on and that gun goes off, it is time to perform. So this is a breakdown of the fastest men in America who actually dared to come to the starting line for the USA Indoor Championship meet. The ones you forgot about, and the ones you never even noticed were there. Because one thing is for certain, if you make this Team USA, and there's only 2 spots to get, you're supposed to come back with a medal when the World Championship is done. There's absolutely no way to talk about this indoor field without starting it off focusing on Trayvon Bromell. He's the only world indoor champion who's coming to the starting line for this USA meet. And beyond that, he is a 2-time Olympian. The fact that he doesn't have an Olympic medal to show for it is why some people forget to bring him into conversations. Well, I am bringing him back into the conversation, because Trayvon Bromell is the fastest man we have seen this side of Usain Bolt. He's actually tied for that title, going 9.76 seconds in the 100-meter dash. He's had to overcome serious injuries, but is back on the track right now. And even though he's been underachieving by his standards, he's still basically a lock to make it to the final if he just does what he's been doing earlier this season, because he has that much talent. So yeah, it's incredibly hard to bet against that man when a Team USA spot is on the line. But the other man who would have to go down as the favorite to make it on the team is Ronnie Baker. He was an Olympian back in 2021 and made the 100-meter final, but he also has a world indoor medal in the 60-meter dash. His PR in that event is actually number 3 on the all-time list for the indoor 60-meter, so it should not be a surprise anymore. He is the top seed on the leaderboards based on his performance this season, because he has been winning basically any time he actually steps on the track. Simply put, we know who's supposed to make Team USA. The problem is, there's a whole bunch of men who were never really supposed to be this fast who are racing against them now. But if you're new here, I want to say thank you for even making it this far into the video. And I'm Coach Rob, the founder of SCArecruiting.com, where I rank the best track and field recruits across the entire nation. And if anything that I say actually connects with you, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe. But if I don't, just let me know in the comment section, because I try to read them all. And if you ask me, that list has to start with Kobe Hilton. He technically has a sponsor now. He runs for Tracksmith. But up until recently, that wasn't true. He was barely recruited out of high school and then made his way to South Dakota State University, where he went on to dominate the Summit League Conference, but never made it to an NCAA championship. I'm talking about the prelims, either indoors or outdoors. But that doesn't really matter, because he kept on running. And while running without a sponsor, he was at the USA Indoor Championships more than once, and made the final twice now. He's been running all over the pro circuit, even though you probably weren't paying attention. So coming back to USA Indoors again is not a big deal for him anymore. He is actually supposed to be in the final, if you're asking me. The only question is, can he edge out one of the men who are supposed to be on the team in order to get that spot? But Zacchaeus Beard is also going to be on the starting line. He was just competing in the NCAA last season, but you probably didn't even notice, because he was at Northwestern State University. No, I'm not talking about Northwestern, the one in the Big Ten. They don't even have a men's track team. And he actually made it all the way to the NCAA championship final in the 100-meter dash. He got 8th place in that final, which makes him the fastest American man in all of college that year, because everybody else who beat him out in that final was international. And all of those same men were also Olympians for Paris in 2024. I'm not making this up. And then there was Malachi Adams, who just finished his college career at the Division II level at Tiffin University, which is actually in Ohio in case you're wondering. Between the indoor season and the outdoor season, he has 2 silver medals at the NCAA championships for that level. But of course he made the finals multiple times while he was down there. So I'm pretty sure that he expects to be in the final at the USA Indoor meet, even if nobody else was even expecting to see him on the starting line. But the one man whom you should have noticed, even if it was for just a moment, is Marcellus Moore, because he is now the Millrose Games champion from 2025. He wasn't even supposed to be in that field. He was a late addition, like 2-3 days before, but he got to the starting line, and then got to the finish line, ahead of everybody else, including Trayvon Bromell. He recently just left college, after first competing for Purdue, and then later transferring to Texas, and he only made the NCAA championship final one time. But that was in the 60-meter dash, early in his college career. But competitively speaking, if he can win a meet like Millrose, he can definitely make this final. And beyond that, he might even be able to get a top spot once he's there. And then there was Emmanuel Wells, who continued running after his college career for quite a few years now, even if you weren't paying attention. Because he started off at Washington State University, where he made the NCAA championships as a freshman indoors in the 60, because that was the first and last time that he ever competed at that level. And by 2022, he basically disappeared from the track. He did come back in 2023 and 2024, but his PR up until this point in the 60-meter dash is now 6.48 seconds. So if we're just going off the clock, he should be right there amongst the leaders when the final race goes off. There's a whole lot more that I could say about this field, but I don't really want to bore you, so I'm gonna just give you the bullet points. As far as I can tell, Ajani Dwyer of Penn State, who is technically a freshman, is going to be on the starting line. He ran 6.55 seconds early this year, so he's going to be at the NCAA Indoor Championship meet. But they're adding this one on the schedule because, hey, why not? And Trenard Folson is a junior college transfer, who technically represents Tennessee now, but for whatever the reason, has not been competing in their uniform yet during the indoor season. So I guess they're sending him to USA Indoor because he is incredibly fast, so he can have his own chance to run for a championship, even if they won't let him into the SEC or the NCAAs yet. And PJ Austin runs for Nike, which is why I did not include him on the never supposed to be this fast list, because he ran for the University of Florida and helped them win national titles. But now that he is a pro, he is still waiting for his first opportunity to wear the red, white, and blue at a major world championship event. And there's even a whole bunch of D3 sprinters who are showing up to run in this field. But I ain't gonna get into that now, maybe do it in another video. But one thing is for certain, whenever Team USA holds a championship in the short sprinting events, some of the fastest men in the world are going to be on the track, because you likely wouldn't even get a lane if you don't have enough talent to basically be a lock to make the Worlds for almost any other nation in the world. We know the names of the men who are supposed to win, but none of that even matters, because the lanes on the track do not care what you've done in the past or who your sponsor is. So even if you were never supposed to be this fast to even get to the starting line, there is absolutely no reason why you can't beat the odds again after the gun goes off. In the sport of track and field, confidence is everything, because when you win, that is just the moment when everybody else finds out what you already knew to be true, that fast is a lifestyle. Get your fast is a lifestyle track and field gear at scarecruiting.com/shop, or use the link in the description below. It's a huge support to me and this channel, so I can continue to make you more content like this. And remember, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe.